Hey everyone, it's Ghost Girl. Welcome back to another video where today I'm going to be going over the history and the backstory of the Lion King's iconic villain Scar. Okay, so I'm going to be starting to post more videos like this so it can entertain y'all. Instead of you guys just watching like my YouTube shorts and stuff, I'm gonna be starting to do more videos going over backstories and histories of different movies or video games. And yeah, so without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so what we're going over first is the dark history of Scar from The Lion King. Alright. So all my sources that I used is going to be down in the description below, so if you want to go read them for yourselves, you can. But I'm going to be going over everything that they said anyways in here, so I really hope you guys enjoy. Please like and subscribe to my channel to see more. And yeah, so let's go over the history of Scar then. So starting off, we will take a look at the 1994 film, The Lion King. And it is still the highest grossing hand-drawn film ever, alright? And, however, Scar does stand out a lot because out of all the Disney villains, he is the most evil, alright? Like, he is so bad that Ursula, it seems like a good guy, you know what I mean? He is like worse than Ursula, and I thought she was the worst until I did research and stuff on Scar. But later on in the video, you'll find out a lot of different things that made Scar be how he is and stuff. So back to the whole thing, and Scar, he is so evil. He didn't just swipe the throne from his brother. He literally killed him to be king. And it's not glossed over, it's confronted, alright? So yeah. And the emotional damage Scar inflicts on the Pride Lands and the physically weakened state that it was in is raw and sorrowful and very calamitous. And we know that Scar is bad and evil, but do we know why he's bad and evil and why he did what he did and his backstory? Why, like what his backstory has to do with it? And if you did not want to know about all of this, you wouldn't have clicked on the video. So I'm glad that you guys clicked on the video, and I am glad to tell you about all of this and why he decided that he wanted to dethrone Mufasa and why he has his Scar and what his actual name is, alright? Because Scar isn't his actual name, and I'll get into that later. But first, we are going to be looking at the disturbing moment in time that his iconic song Be Prepared was inspired by, and you'll be shocked, alright? So a handful of Disney villains had a signature song, but Be Prepared has to be one of the most evilest songs in Disney because of what it was inspired by. Alright, so if I would have not done my research, I would have taken a wild guess. I would not have guessed that it was based off of World War II, and it was based off of World War II, and that's why it was like the black and the yellows and the greens in that song. They were trying to give you a hint that it was based off of the World War II propaganda from the 1930s, and yeah, so in this song, you could see him rallying up his hyena friends, and they were plotting that they were going to kill Mufasa and his son. Well, they didn't end up killing his son, but they did end up Scar did end up throwing Mufasa off the cliff into the stampede thing, and he did die, and he was trying to blame Simba for doing it and told Simba to run away and never come back again. And he wanted the hyenas to chase after Simba to kill him, which did not work because Simba was faster than the hyenas apparently, and ran off into the thorn bushes and ran right past them. And the hyenas didn't want to go in the thorn bushes, so they're like, if you come back, we'll kill you, and all that. So yeah. Why did they base it off of the World War II propaganda from the 1930s? So when the Disney animators developed the story, Scar's rise to power leading a large group of soldiers to erectate. I can't say that word. Erectate. I'm not even gonna say that word, but erectate life and seize control of his homeland, reminding them of something. They reminded them of something, and they turned to World War II. I don't know why they turned to World War II, but let's just finish this, okay? So they turned to World War II propaganda footage in determining the aesthetic for Scar's rule. Alright, so according to The Lion King, the full film script book by Bill Scorrian and Bill Scrolin, I can't say his name, sorry. If I messed that up, I'm very sorry. And Barbara Montini, alright? And this inspired them to do, from the 1930s footage, to stylize the segments of Be Prepared, alright? So, with the yellow and black to mimic the vintage newsreels of the Depression era. Alright, that's kind of dark, and that's where we're leaning towards because Scar is a very dark and antisocial person, right? And he wants power, right? And he wants to kill to get to what he wants. And he does exactly that, and that's probably why they turned to that, and because of all the hyenas that he gathered, and he was the leader. It does remind you of Hitler and all his soldiers and stuff, but still. Alright, so the origin of Scar's nickname is what we are looking at next. So, we all know Scar's iconic scar on his left eye. And in the script of The Lion King, it never really addresses on how he got it, if it was a birthmark or if it was from some kind of accident that happened earlier in his lifetime. But it doesn't specify if Scar is his actual name. So it might, when he got the scar, they probably just nicknamed him Scar. And so that's what people were kind of like saying maybe Scar isn't his real name. But some people say it is, some people say it's not. But we'll get to that in a little bit. Let's just continue looking at this part first. So, Scar is actually, it's a nickname for him, alright? The answers never came out until 2 decades later. Yes, 2 decades later, after the original film in the late 2010s, and yes, this, when it came out, it was in The Lion Guard, alright? And The Lion Guard is canon to the Lion King franchise, and so it has to be true what they're saying in this, because the Disney did say it was canon. So yes. So in the late 2010s, Disney Television Animation produced a series called The Lion Guard. On So and then in The Lion Guard, it introduces Simba's son Kion, and how Kion and his friends were they protect the Pride Lands in a group called the Lion Guard. And yeah, so even though Scar has been dead for some time now in this point in time, he makes occasional appearances in a form of a ghost. If you haven't watched the series, his little lair place is a volcano in the Lion Guard, and it is his and Scar is a ghost. It's just his face in the volcano. All right. So yeah, watch the Lion Guard. It's really good if you haven't. I watched it when I was little, and it was good. So I just recently rewatched it, and all of this, it kind of makes sense now. So yeah. So this is when we actually see the tragic origin of Scar's good to evil transition. So I know that it may be hard to believe that Scar was good, but I bet we all thought that he has been evil all the time, but something tragic happened that made him turn evil, because he was a good lion at one point. So let's get to that. So it turns out that Scar used to be in the Lion Guard when he was a younger lion, and until one day it went completely the other direction. It went wrong, alright? So one day he was good, the next day he was following his mentor that was a mischievous lion, and he thought nothing of it, but you can tell that this lion is bad, alright? So when he was following his mentor to this place, Scar was struck in the face by a venomous snake, and he was left with a gnarly gash on the left side of his face and on his eye. And Mufasa mockingly gave him the nickname Scar, and it stuck. That really sucks for Scar, doesn't it? The aftermath of this shaming, Scar grew more and more vengeful until he was finally stripped of his Lion Guard duties. It's really sad that Mufasa did that, because if he knew what had actually happened, he would have probably not said that, but yeah. And when Scar became more vengeful until he was stripped of his duties of being in the Lion Guard, he vowed to one day dethrone Mufasa, which he actually does, because he kills him in the first film. So let's look at what Scar's real name is, alright? So now that you know that Scar was just a nickname, we know that Scar's parents didn't name him that, but his parents named him something worse, alright? So what his parents named him was, okay, it's hard for me to pronounce. I'm sorry if I pronounce this wrong. They named him Taka, alright? Which in Swahili is translated to waste. I'm sorry if I said those wrong. But yeah, so his parents named him Trash. I wouldn't be pretty happy with that either. I'd rather be called Scar than Taka, which means waste. That's kind of sad. I feel bad for Scar for that one. But okay, so back what happened when Scar got struck in the face. So when the snake struck Scar, the venom that he suffered, and he never was cured of because he didn't want to, for some god-awful reason he didn't want to be cured, twists one's personality. So it twisted his personality, making him bitter and violent. And we see that in the first film when he's like pure evil, right? So yeah. Even Kion from the Lion Guard, he had to get help with it. He had to get like healed because he got struck in the face too. Just watch the Lion Guard and you'll see. But we're not talking about Kion, we're talking about Scar. So Scar never got the help that he needed, and his jealous, bloodthirsty persona is partially due to the poison. And so yeah. that's how Scar got his nickname, and that's how Scar has the scar in his eye. And we probably would have never knew that if they hadn't made the Lion Guard. So I thank you, Disney, for making the Lion Guard. That really helps us understand a lot of what's going on in the Lion King movies. Alright, so the next thing we're going to look at is Scar wanted Nala to be his queen. Yeah, that's kind of gross because he knew Nala ever since she was a cub, so that's kind of gross. But yeah, so with most of the backstory covered already, let's go over how in the first movie Scar wanted Nala to be his queen. So I watched a deleted scene, and it's from The Lion King, Part 1, and Scar would have followed suit by demanding a sexual partnership with someone quite unexpected, right? Nala. Yeah, he wanted to have a sexual relationship with Nala. And in this scene would have come just before Nala left to go get help. And yeah, I'll send the link to that YouTube video down in the description below if you want to go see the deleted scene. But yeah, so during Scar's reign, at this point of the story, Scar theorizes that even though he has achieved his goal to be king of Pride Rock, he wants to be a father and wants Nala to be the cub's mother. That's kind of gross, in my opinion, though. That's gross. That's too big of an age gap. But the sequence was cut from the movie, but later was put in the Broadway play, right, of The Lion King, and it now lives as just a song now. It's called The Madness of Scar. I'll put that song in the description below too. That's the deleted scene of where he wanted Nala and stuff like that. But as the song The Madness of Scar was written by Elton John and Tim Rice. During the song, Scar thinks aloud, "Without a queen, what am I? A dead end, no line, no descendants, no future. With a queen, I'll have cubs. Immortality will be mine." As you see, he wants Nala to be his queen in the song. And when Nala enters the scene, Scar creepily, yes, I said creepily, continues, "Oh, Nala, your timing couldn't be more perfect. Oh my, how you've grown." That's kind of creepy, and that's a red flag, and I am so disgusted by what he said. That was nasty. Why would he say that to Nala? That he has known since she was a cub. For real. And Nala, of course, refuses his demand and leaves to go save Pride Rock. Alright, so I'm glad that she refused that because, Alright, so the next thing we're going to look at is Scar's long-term plan to save Pride Rock. Alright, so, okay. Nala refused to mate with Scar and be his queen, but there is one lioness who worships Scar, and this lioness's name is Zira. Zira loves him and worships him even in death. That's kind of weird and no. But let's take a look at the 1998 sequel, The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride. Alright, so let's take a brief look over it. So Simba and Nala has a daughter. The daughter's name is Kiara, and Kiara falls in love with a cub named Kovu, right? And when they figure out that their romance is forbidden by a complicated, prejudiced history between Simba and Zira. Kovu's mother is Zira, by the way, and while the details are never fully explained on screen, there are significant gaps of that the audience is able to gather, and how Scar had more than a plan, and it seemed in the first Lion King. So he had more of a plan than he seemed in the first Lion King, and Zira, Kovu, and all the other outlaw lions never appeared in the first film. But we thought that the only villainous lion was Scar, because with his accomplices being hyenas. But however, Kovu's family was apparently present within the story the whole time. And in The Lion King 2, Zira explains to Simba that Kovu was, quote-unquote, hand-chosen by Scar to follow in his paw prints, right? Unquote. Alright, so Kovu was the last born before... Okay, she also says that Kovu was the last born before you exiled us to the Outlands, right? That's what she says to Simba. And there is, or may, I don't know, it may or may not actually make sense with what has already been established in the preceding film. But Scar has plenty of secrets. What else don't we know about him? So yeah. I enjoyed making this video, and I enjoyed researching about Scar's backstory and his history. If you guys want me to make more about Scar and stuff, I can do more research. Just comment down in the comment section below, and I would gladly do so because I enjoyed this so much. I don't know what my next video is going to be about, but I know it will be about another Disney film's backstory. And it may or may not be a villain. It might be the hero this time, but it may be the villain. I'm not sure. But that was the dark history and the backstory of Scar. If you want me to make, like, as I said, if you want me to make more videos about Scar, let me know, and I will. Please like and subscribe to my channel. It will really help me out. And I just have a great day, alright guys? I'll see you in the next one. Bye.